pointed this out on Twitter.
No, yes. Morgan Fox is back.
Oh shit! Let's go.
Yeah, so Morgan Fox,
all right,
Agent David Cantor going back to Cali. Congratulations to Morgan Fox on agreeing to terms and re-sign with the Chargers. Okay, so Morgan Fox is back.
Let's go.
I'm gonna be 3 for 3 on these big 3.
Yes. Hey, 2 years in a row, we got a defensive tackle signing live on the show.
Yeah, if you need a defensive tackle to be signed, man, we'll jump on. Don't worry. Hey, it happened on the show. All right, Morgan Fox is back. Okay, I can pull it up on the screen real quick. And there's not much to add right now, but I can pull it up so people can, celebrate and such. Let me go to Chrome tab.
Okay.
Morgan Fox is back. And yes, as Arjun says, let's see the money. I think that, so I had a lot more to say about Morgan Fox, but he's back. So that's great. that saves you guys 5 minutes of listening to me ramble on. I mean, it came down to, what's his name? Coach Ed was on Twitter at one point going, hey, listen, stop playing, pay this dude. I think Steven, you had heard and shared in the Discord that they were kind of lowballing him. To me, it just felt like proper negotiation. You don't start at the top. It's not what you deserve, it's what you negotiate. And Morgan Fox, you got to negotiate down to a certain point and meet in the middle. Yeah, great. Morgan Fox is back with the Chargers. I thought him and Trey Pipkins were the 2 most irreplaceable players, and they've retained 2 of their most irreplaceable players, in my opinion. So, okay, we'll see. Those are my notifications. I have March Mammal Madness on my notifications.
Ian Rappaport just said it's a 2-year deal for Morgan Fox.
Interesting. So I'm sure Arjun can make a guess in the chat. So Arjun had him at what, Arjun and Brad had him at 2 years, 5.5 or something.
Yeah. So initially, Brad's prediction for Morgan Fox was 2 years, $11 million. Mm-hmm. And then I think after the defensive tackle boom, he bumped it up to 6.25, which would be in this instance, 12.5 million. Is that correct? Basic quick math.
Sure. Everyone's just watching me go through my retweets. I'm just trying to find where I said that they should get this done, because they really should have.
They really should have. Yeah, this is live television, folks. Arjun said in the chat that he had him 2 years, $9 million total.
Probably exceeds that.
No, I think that would exceed that. I don't think it's going to be the $8 to $10 million that Coach Ed was talking about.
We'll find out,
and we'll see here shortly. Maybe that is the case, but I mean, the Chargers, nice live tweeting from the screen.
Yeah, I gotta avoid doing my DM. I gotta avoid staying away from that. But okay, all right. Everyone's seen too much. I'm out of here.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, let's put that shit away. But yes, this is fantastic news. The Chargers, as of now, are letting Braden Fehoko test the market. Austin Johnson is injured with a very serious injury, and I think just barely is really starting to test his physical ability in terms of his knee. I haven't really seen an update on Otito Ogbonia, but he's also injured with the same injury that JC Jackson had. So currently healthy on the roster was Sebastian Joseph Day and Christopher Hinton. That was it. And I think they like Chris Hinton, and I think he showed some interesting flashes down the stretch. I think that he could be kind of like what they had for Braden Fehoko, like that kind of role where it's like, okay, you're DT6, maybe you make a roster. If not, you're a practice squad guy and you're the first, practice squad elevation. So I do think they like Chris Hinton, but that was it, right? That was Sebastian Joseph Day and Christopher Hinton that were healthy and on the roster. So this was a big need for the Chargers, and we'll see what the money comes in. I'm hoping we get some clarity here, but Morgan Fox had an outstanding season last year, and I know that he's getting paid as a pass rusher, but I said this throughout the end of the season. I thought that his work against the run was really catching up to what he was doing as a pass rusher as well. So he's ideally somebody that you just kind of focus in on as a pass rusher, but I do think he is a bit underrated as a run defender as well. So this is great news. The Chargers didn't really have a choice here. I thought that if they struck out with Morgan Fox, maybe we're talking about like a 1 year, $4 million, $5 million deal for like Shelby Harris. Maybe a 1 year, $3 million deal for like A'Shawn Robinson, who I mentioned. But getting Morgan Fox back, I think, is huge.
It is so huge. This just ensures, and Pipkin's back as well, that you can really focus on potentially the strength of the draft, which is edge rusher.
There you go.
Lordy. This is great. I was looking at running through simulations. You know, I just for fun, I had them taking a defensive tackle in round 1 in a simulation recently. And it just like that might have been where they had to go, but they don't have to now because of Morgan Fox. I'm really curious what these numbers are. The Chargers, and I've guessed as much, like they had no choice. There was nothing, like you said, their players were either hurt or they're gone or they're hitting the market or whatever. It was literally just Sebastian Joseph Day.
Yep.
And now I would sort of understand if they then, okay, this didn't work. Let's get Robinson and, you know, whatever, let's say Brockers or something. But it's just like not the same. Sure. This is great. This is fantastic. Again, a player that technically wasn't the starter, but rolled into 40 pressures and 6 sacks to end the year. Will he hit that? I hope so. You know, he'll be paid a lot more to hit those numbers again.
Yeah.
But this system favors him. This line favors him. He's an excellent player. You know, people kind of want to pigeonhole him as a sort of rotational guy. You know, maybe he's not, you know, a perfect every down elite player, but he's exactly what the Chargers need. This is an all-in year, and I didn't want to see how they'd replace a guy with 40 pressures and 6 sacks. Look at the draft last year. The leader, it might be wishy-washy on PFF because of like DN versus defensive tackle, but the leader in pressures last year for a rookie was 17, and which is not great.
This rookie class, this incoming draft class sucks. It is so bad.
Yeah, I haven't watched it, so you know, I don't know, but yeah,
I was probably a little too passionate. I'm sorry. It's
not. We'll get to it. I'm so excited to watch that class. Guess what we're breaking down next? Defensive tackles. I can't wait. Thanks for that endorsement. I'm so excited.
Sorry. That was a tad dramatic on my part.
It's all good. But I mean, listen, like again, 17 pressures, the leader last year. The year before that was Barmore, and that was the only player to be over 40 pressures that year as a rookie. Like the odds of Tom Telesco, probably not in the first round, finding somebody else who is the one guy every 2 years who hits over 40 pressures, the odds are so slim. Like raise your hand if you thought Tom Telesco was going to be able to find that player, and probably not even in the first round. Wouldn't have been me raising my hand, but now it's Morgan Fox time. I can't wait to see what these numbers are. Frankly, if they overpaid relative to Arjun's expectations and contract, fine. But we'll see what this quote unquote, you know, overpay might be. I wouldn't be surprised if they spent a little more to make sure he stayed.
Yeah.
Frankly, I would have loved to have seen him just be re-signed before the market hit. But hey, I'm happy. Trey Pipkins, Morgan Fox, the two priorities in my opinion, both back. I'm stoked.
Yeah, we'll talk about Trey here in a second, but you know, we'll see what happens with the pass rush, right? But like the whole point of signing Morgan Fox last year was, you know, they needed somebody who could beat one-on-ones because the edge rushers were getting double teamed, right? Like, you know, this is a team for the Chargers who, you know, when Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa are healthy, you know, they're going to command a ton of attention, right? Whether that's chips, whether that's double teams. And we saw it last year where anybody not named Morgan Fox last year was not winning one-on-one opportunities until the end for Kyle Van Noy. Kyle Van Noy obviously came on strong. So Morgan Fox coming back is huge for the pass rush. You know, they're able to have a pass rushing opportunity because it's like, you know, when I suggest A'Shawn Robinson, right? Like you're talking about A'Shawn, who is not a great pass rusher. You know, Sebastian Joseph Day, not a good pass rusher. Austin Johnson, not a very good pass rusher. So it's like those guys, essentially, you'd be asking them to like push the pocket and then, you know, letting Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa work. But now with Morgan Fox, you have somebody who can, you know, be very disruptive, you know, along the interior. So, you know, Coach Ed has been pounding the table that, you know, he's been He was more productive last year than a lot of these guys who signed for, you know, $16-17 million. Like Zach Allen signed with the Seahawks for, I think, $14.5 million. And Morgan Fox had more pressures, had a higher pass rush win rate, you know, and Morgan Fox, we'll see what happens here. But he's definitely not signing for $14 million per year. So, you know, this is a great sign for the Chargers that they're bringing him back. And I do think that letting him kind of test the market probably was best for them. I think, you know, not to say that he's like a schematic limitation player, because I do think he'd go be successful elsewhere, but you know, his best seasons have been with Brandon Staley as defensive coordinator. So I do think that is something that other teams certainly weigh into.
Yeah. And then the reverse, you know, Morgan Fox weighing the market is him going, okay, I've tried things with the Rams before Brandon Staley. I went to the Panthers, and I mean, we heard as soon as they signed Morgan Fox that the fit with the Panthers was awful. They did not know how to use him.
Yeah.
You know, he was productive.
He was playing on the edge a ton for Carolina.
Yeah. And, you know, I think he did have some production, but it wasn't the same. And everything just in 2020 and in 2022, what's the obvious thing here? It's Brandon Staley. And again, like, credit to Brandon Staley for that, for letting Morgan Fox have this career year in this scheme, even though he wasn't technically like a starter early on. But when they made him that focal point and he had to become one, he thrived. So this scheme was at least good for Morgan Fox. And I think if Morgan Fox is looking at the market, if this is a 2-year deal, I'm willing to bet there's an out in 2024, because that's just kind of the way things have been. And if you have another really, really great season, hey, your best shot at the next contract is staying with this team. You know, if every other team was going to give you, you know, $1 million more APY or something, and that's kind of it, screw it. You know, take that, maybe a slight discount, stay with this team, and hit the market again when you've shown like 2 years in a row now, 40 pressure, 45 pressure seasons, and then really go cash in with some teams. So this works out. I'm stoked. I can't wait to see what these contract details are. I'm bummed it's not out yet. Come on.